Everyone.
Hi.
We're all back again.
Hello, Jackson. How's it going?
Going really well. Your session went really great, I thought, the other day. Was that last night? When was that? This morning? I have no idea. What day
It
was
was
that?
yesterday. Yesterday afternoon for me. I guess it was late afternoon for you.
Yes, I think so. Yes. But I thought the attendance was great and it looked like people were really enjoying themselves. So I thought it was really well done and beautiful. And I know you said you all made a lot of adjustments, but I think it translated beautifully virtually.
Yes, thank you. It's amazing, actually. We're thrilled that we can continue our work on Zoom. It's shocking, but it works. Well, we'll see. This one I have a little more experience with, but not introducing new people. So did you get my emails? I don't know if I asked you this, but is it possible for us to get a list of the people who registered for our event?
I don't have that, unfortunately. So I only have a list of everyone that registered for the whole conference, but for this event, I don't actually have that list. So afterwards, I can ask if
Yes.
Sakadita can share the people that I can, like, we can have it after the fact, but we don't have it before. So I'll be able to see all the people that actually showed up. I don't know if they're gonna want us to share that info or not with you all, so I can ask them about that, but I don't have like the pre-registration list.
Oh, okay. No, I don't need the pre-registration. It's the post-registration.
The post-registration, yes.
interested
So
in.
I'll check in
And
with
we
y'all.
don't need it right away, so. Oh,
Perfect.
that's good. Okay. And
Yes.
then also some of my most interesting things that I wanted to attend are happening at the same time my event is.
Okay.
So since these are being recorded, are these recordings being made available to the
I know that
to the
all of the paper sessions are going to be on YouTube. I don't know about the workshops. So we're recording everything for them, but the only things that virtual producers is we're doing like post-production are for the paper sessions. I don't know what Sakadita is going to end up doing with this footage. So like, that's another thing to ask them, you know, if they want to share it. And I can put that in. If you're interested in getting it, I can put that in my notes for our postmortem.
Well, mostly it is the paper session, not yesterday, but day before yesterday, I think.
Yes. So
yes.
All of those are are on YouTube actually. And I think the first day sessions are already up there. And I can give you the YouTube link, but you should be getting a email from them, from Sakadita, with all of the information for all of the recorded sessions.
Okay. If you have the link to the first day,
So
it
that's
was
the YouTube channel, and we'll be posting them basically on a rolling basis. So day one is up, day two should be up soon, and then tomorrow or the day after this last day will be up.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Okay, I think that's all that today is going to be hopefully simpler than yesterday.
Okay.
We will see how it rolls out, but I'm pretty sure it will be. Oh, good. Adrienne has joined us. Okay, so now it's just our dear Parvati. Do you think we need to send her the link again, Adrienne?
I don't know. I can check with her.
You can check in. Yeah, she texted me yesterday when she was having an issue. So I feel like if she was having a trouble, she would reach out again.
Okay.
Might just be a little bit behind.
Okay, and Miri, do you want to test the music?
Yes.
Please.
So we first we need to be co-host. Yes, I am. So thank you. Let's try. Okay.
There's Parvati. Okay. Yes, good morning, Parvati. Okay, that's perfect. Sound is good. And let's see the image that you're going to share. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so Adrienne and Parvati, was that image clear to you?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
great.
sorry, I didn't see
So-
it.
Yes, I could see it.
Okay, perfect. So when I lead the meditation meeting, that's when we want it. I'll ask you to put the image up. So when we do the Tara before us and Tara we are, those two meditations. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else we need to sort out. I'm going to go ahead and turn myself off a little bit here.
Okay, great. And I will give you all a heads up when we're getting ready to begin.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jackson.
My pleasure.
Adrienne, do you know what the name of this event is? What the name is? Yesterday we had a name. Do you know? Do you have before you the title?
I will pull it up.
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank you, Jackson.
This one is Dancing in Praise of Tara, the Enlightened Feminine. Like, that's what I have on my schedule.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I just had to make sure that I know which direction to take this talk in. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Prema, are you there? Prema? Prema?
She took a break.
Yes, 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 I'm here. What can I do for you, Mary?
Prema, let's do for the you. I will spotlight you first, and when you talk about the pre-motivation, and when put the music, I keep you and Adrienne. And after
Correct.
I will take Adrienne. You talk about the refuge in Bodhicitta. I put you and the Parvati.
Actually, I'd like to start with all four of us spotlighted, just like we did yesterday. But then you can take the three off. Okay.
Uh-huh. And when you
And,
start the music, start the music, I put Adrienne together with you, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. And would someone please put our World Wide Web taradatu.org in the chat panel? So I think that's the only thing that you can do that, Parvati. That would be great. I think that's the only thing we need to put in the chat panel. Unless you want to put the mantra, you can do that also, but.
Okay, let me to organize first the spotlight, Prema. And after I start the refuge in Bodhicitta, will be you start, and after I put Parvati with you, we are dancing the refuge in Bodhicitta, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
and after I take Parvati, you keep you to talk about the dance, the qualities. When we start
Correct.
to dance the qualities, will be four of us during the dance, correct?
I was thinking that I could spotlight individuals, like we do with the praises, so that people could really see the movement. If there's four of us on the screen, I don't know. Do you think, what do you think?
I think it will be easy, Prema. I
Sure.
don't think I can do this way. It's too much for me. Sorry.
Yes, I know, but I can. So what do we want?
I think it will be better
You
the
prefer the
four of
four.
us. I think it will be better. The people can see if they want to spotlight one or another, they do themselves.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. And it's possible that I want to show the Tara number 20 instead of Omahum. Okay,
Okay.
depending on the time. So just be prepared for that. And for that media, I would then spotlight you. Okay.
Okay.
And it's just going to be seated, not standing, no standing, just showing the mudras. Or you probably have to stand back a little bit to be able to show the mudras. Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
guess you
don't
could
need
do
to move
the
with
whole body.
the feet, but I can move the hands. It's easier.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Thank
we
you.
still have, 15 minutes.
All right, everyone.
Before you start, can you put Prema co-host also?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
All right.
So Miri, you can go ahead and spotlight the four of us. So we open that way.
Really quickly, Parvati, can I just have you test your sound really quick? Just make sure you can mute and unmute.
Om tare tu tare ture soha.
Thank you. And Adrian, can you just unmute really quick? Just make sure it works. Perfect.
Ooh.
Great. All right, awesome.
Thank you, Jackson. We appreciate you so much.
It is my pleasure.
Smile, Miri. Yeah, there we go.
I'm sorry. I tried to calm down.
Okay.
Okay, just stand by. I'm going to give just a few seconds to let people kind of arrive so that, you've got a good chunk of people here before you start talking. All right, I'm going to go ahead and admit everyone. Have a wonderful session.
Thank you, Jackson.
All right, we're open.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is so precious and wonderful that we could meet together in the spirit of awakened mind and in the spirit of mutual effort at bringing about a peaceful world. Today we will share with you a practice that's very dear to our hearts, dancing in the spirit of the enlightened feminine, the goddess Tara. This practice comes based on the Tibetan Buddhist tradition of working with a deity in order to tame our own mind. It is our effort that brings about change. But according to the teachings, the most marvelous possibilities and capacity is within this human frame, each one of us. And because you have all chosen to be here today, it means that you yourself have come to a place where you are engaging in practices that are assisting you in your spiritual opening. All of us have a hunger to know who we truly are and why we are here on this planet. And as we engage in various discoveries and various adventures, then we discover, we are told, and then we discover that the most amazing possibilities are within ourselves. So before I go deeper into this, I want to introduce you to my beloved advanced students and teachers in our lineage, Tara Datu. So to this side, you'll see Mirida Kini. She's in Brazil. She's Brasileiros. And then below her is Adrienne, who I believe is now in Arkansas. And then to her left is Parvati in Phoenix, Arizona. So thank you so much, ladies, for coming to share with all of us. It's wonderful that we can do this together. For many years, I was on the road by myself teaching these dances, many years, yes, like 35, 36 years. So it's really wonderful now to have others who are well-versed in the practice and deeply committed to it. So Miri, if you want to just spotlight me for now, you can do that and give Parvati and Adrienne and yourself a little break from the glare of the spotlight. There we go. So in order to engage in this practice, we need to understand it comes out of a tradition, but it is its own tradition. It is its own set of practices. It came about because I had a certain friendship with the local Tibetan Lama living here on Maui, which is where I am, my residence. And through him, he was a friend. Because we both had lived in India, we shared on a friendship level. And I attended his teachings, but I was a Hindu temple dancer and didn't have any experience with Buddhism. But I wanted to create a dance for him, and going through the different prayers and practices that he'd shared with us, it appeared to me that this text of the 21 Taras had been danced before, that we had seen this. See, I'm just going to remove maybe spotlight. There we go. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so because of this, because I didn't know anything about this prayer other than when I read it, it seemed to have a similar cadence to the prayers and dances that I had engaged in India. I thought this would be an easy one to create something. And I started the process. I had no idea that the 21 Praises of Tara is as common a practice, as important to the culture of the Tibetans as the Lord's Prayer is to a Christian. It goes across the board. It goes across all of the different denominations, all the Tibetans, no matter whether they are Bonpo or whether they are Gelugpa or Kagyu, it didn't matter. Everyone, especially, the women, chanted the 21 Praises of Tara. And as I engaged further and further and learned more and more about this particular event of the 21 Praises of Tara, I also, because what had been given to me was a full sadhana, and I didn't realize what that was either. But over the course of months and of study and of retreat, I discovered what that the Tibetans had very specific method for what they called the view. In other words, the view of awakened mind. And these methods that they encourage us to train in allowed us to awaken into this glorious mind state. So, and not knowing that this dance that I had been creating and the text that I had been using followed these very specific mind training confrontations, you might say. I say it's provocative. Tibetan practice is provocative. It's provoking the mind to reveal to itself whatever its limitations are, and to develop a strategy to disarm these resistances, these limitations. This is very exciting. This takes it beyond art, beyond beauty, beyond goddess worship, into the heart of what we as human beings are doing on this planet, which is our potential. What is our human potential? And according to these teachings, our human potential is awakened mind. Our human potential is full wisdom. And we have the capacity to know all there is to be known. In this way, we also have the capacity to radiate into this world our loving compassion. We have the capacity to develop strategies, skills, ways and means of dealing with the suffering beings around us and helping them to liberate themselves. This is our human potential. This is what is brought forward in these teachings. And so as I went deeper and deeper into understanding that this dance that we were doing wasn't just an act of devotion. When Sita Rinpoche first saw us dance in 1986, 87, he said he'd never seen the depth of devotion in dance like this. But that was due to my classical Indian dance training, and all of the students, all of my friends who came to dance with us engaged in that way. But 10 years later, he said, this dance is not only an accumulation of merit and devotion, but it's also an accumulation of wisdom because of the pattern it follows in the provoking of the mind to reveal its treasure. So it's been now 40 years that I've been engaged in this study, and 37 or 38, and actually sharing it with people. And Sita Rinpoche, when he first saw it, he said, "You're going to take this all over the world." And at that time, someone had showed me a little thing of Padmasambhava, a prophecy that when things got bad, when things got really difficult in our planet, that there would arise many Taras and that they would bring the healing energy. So this sort of fit in with what I had been discovering about the practice that we were engaged in. So I invite you all to, at least for this time that we're together, for this hour and a half that we're together, to engage fully in this practice. What I've also discovered, and this is in the past few years, is that Western science has become very interested in seeing what are the effects on the brain, what are the effects on the brain and the physical body of these different practices. And to that end, because His Holiness the Dalai Lama is also very scientifically minded, they were encouraged to work together with these great meditators, and discovered that these various practices, the very ones that we're going to be working with today, that they in fact do marvelous things for the brain and open up vistas that previously the researchers didn't think was possible, because they had been engaged in research and seeing how the mind worked and what different aspects of engagement, what it created in the brain, in the body. So that's all very exciting for us. It simply reinforces. But even before we got in touch with the scientists and all of that business, already we were seeing the results. Again, when Sita Rinpoche was asked, what do you think about this Tara dance? Because I had offered it at KTD, the Karmapa seat in Woodstock, New York. And so some of the students there who were very sincere Dharma practitioners had all said, you know, what do you think, Rinpoche, about this? And he said something to the effect, of course, this is an American talking, so I don't know what his exact words were, but the proof is in the pudding. In other words, we will see what the value of this dance is by what happens with the dancers. And then 10 years after he'd first seen the dance, he told me this was an accumulation of merit. So in other words, as Bokha Rinpoche has said, if we engage with great sincerity in these practices, that we have the potential to awaken enlightened mind, that it's all in the practice, it's in the relationship. So we start then, we're going to start. I'm going to take you step by step through this practice. Now, first, I want to mention something about our situation here, because we're on Zoom. We are not meeting. Normally for over many, all of these 30 some years, the only way I've ever taught this was live with a circle of mostly women over the course of at least a weekend. And it resulted in a public performance. Okay, so that's not happening. So it's not live. Now we're in these little boxes. And yet, over the course of the past year and a half, 2 years with this pandemic, we've discovered that it hasn't really taken away from our ability to communicate together. One of the very special things about this particular Tara Datu, this lineage of Tara dance, is the way the Sangha works together. It's mostly women, and women, as we meet together, it's always been amazing to me to see how everybody works together and supports each other and encourages each other. So this is a very important part of the practice, and it's something that we thought, okay, how are we going to do that in these little boxes here with these screens? How are we going to be there for each other? And yet we discovered that, in fact, it was possible, that in fact, we got to see people that previously we wouldn't see for 5 or 6 years. So that became a whole other part of this adventure. However, my internet is unstable. I'm up the mountain in the Hawaiian Islands, and at any moment I could disappear. So this is why Miri and Parvati and Adrienne, they can take over for me if that happens. Don't get nervous. The music may come and go. Also about the music, everything is rhythmic, because according to my studies in mind, again, it's a deep rhythm, a slow rhythm that allows the mind to relax and open itself. However, we will not be on the same beat. You're not going to hear the same rhythm I hear. Even if you're in Hawaii, we've noticed that we're not on the same beat. So don't get nervous about that. There's just no way that we can, with Zoom, all the music sounds a little bit different to each person to each computer. So don't worry about that. Just go along. In fact, don't worry about anything. Relax into this practice and open your heart, because that's going to make it the most effective for you and for the rest of us. Because we've also noticed that there is a cumulative engagement or a cumulative event that's occurring with the group, because all of us focused on this practice together. It has a very powerful effect on each one of us, on our circle, and in the greater world, because our intent repeatedly is to engage in these practices in order to bring benefit to our world. So we're going to start then with those understandings about the limitations of our Zooming. We're going to start with the first dance, which we call the prayer of motivation. After about 10 years of traveling and teaching, I realized that we were missing some pieces, that when the Tibetans teach or taught, because we had many very great lamas coming to Hawaii. They all wanted to see the Pure Land of Hawaii. So we were very privileged and blessed to have these great beings. And there were so few of us that we got very close to them. But when they gave teachings, there was a big leap for many people to understand what they were talking about. And I realized that there was a piece missing, that in their culture, when a baby is born, the baby is told, you are a Buddha. That is your birthright and your potential. So our prayers are all that so that you develop your Buddha nature. Now, in our culture, babies, when they're born, amongst many of the sects of Christianity, and you're told that you're a sinner, that without the intervention of somebody else, you can't function, you can't really manifest the fullness of awakened mind. You're not blessed, you need intervention. So this is very different. These practices start by saying you already have what you need. You don't have to go outside. You don't really need anybody else in the sense of having all the pieces that you need. You need inspiration. You need support. But the essential nature of who and what you are, you already have. So we start our prayer of motivation by that, okay? And the words are, I'm here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. So now we are setting our intention. This is the first aspect of practice. We need to set our intention, and we need to continually renew that intention. So Adrienne is going to demonstrate the movements as I speak them, and she'll stand back so you can see her. Okay, so first she's just going to show the hands. I am here. So we open our hands out. That's right. In the gesture of infinite giving. Here I am. I'm ready to completely participate in the world. To manifest, her hands scoop around to manifest the wisdom that rests within. And she places her hands on her heart, because according to these teachings, wisdom rests in the heart, not in the brain, but in the heart. Then the second aspect of our intent, why are we here? I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. And so she's going to be turning clockwise, looking around and realizing that all of her encounters, all of her engagements. Now, when you dance this, you feel this in your own body. And then the third aspect of our prayer of motivation, I am here to gather the skill and the power to bless and empower all. And so in this way, what we are affirming is we're engaging in these practices for this purpose, to manifest our wisdom, to radiate our loving compassion, which is inseparable from our wisdom, and to be skillful as we move through the world of duality, as we encounter other beings. We want to gather the skill and the potency that we can interact with them in such a way that we can inspire them, we can uplift them, and we can empower them to manifest the fullness of their own potential. So Miri, if you would please put on the music, and everyone, if you'd like to stand up, let's dance. So the movement of the feet, we're basically just rocking side by side, starting rocking to the right. Right.
I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. I am here to skill and the power to rest and empower all. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within you. I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. I am here to gather the skill and the power to bless and empower all. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. I am here to gather the skill and the power to bless and empower all.
Thank you, Adrienne. So excuse me, everyone, I was playing around with the spotlight because I think it's better to just spotlight a single person. We can see them better. We can see their movement. We can see the mudras better. This is always an adventure here, dealing with Zoom. Okay, so now, Miri, yes, there we go. So now we've set our intention. We're gathered together during this hour and a half to manifest our wisdom, the wisdom that's within us, to radiate our loving compassion into the world, and to be skillful and powerful. So we can bless everyone we meet. We can empower them. We can encourage them. Once we have determined this, then the next part of the method is to recognize, I can't do this alone. This is not something, I need something. What do I need? And at this point, then, we engage in a practice that is called refuge. Now, refuge, the way I like to see it is, if we're out in the rain, we seek refuge. We seek to get out of the rain. So if we're in the rain of our emotions, if we're falling apart and life is difficult, we need to go somewhere with that. And if we have not developed a sense of inner refuge, which is where the journey is taking us, if we have not developed that, then we start to use the power of what the practice is, visualization. We use the power of our imagination. Now, this has been a very interesting gesture in the scientific community as well, because they have studied the effects of the power of imagination and discovered that it is as potent, it is extremely potent as engaging in something with what we call, flesh and blood individuals. So we're going to use the power of our imagination to imagine in front of us these radiant light beings. These radiant light beings are in front of us, and they're pouring their light and they're pouring their love into us. And so the first thing that we want to recognize is that there are teachers. There are those who really open the door for us. They can't walk through the door, but they can open it, they can point it out, they can show the way. And so we call this the lineage of teachers. Now, in the Tibetan tradition, we have many amazing teachers, but I know that for all of us, there are so many different journeys that we are on. Some people are more invested in a Hindu or a yogic path. Some people are more invested in a Christian path. Some people are Sufis. Some people are eclectic. Some people are are simply don't want anything to do with any formal religion or spiritual practice, and yet they're powerful and blessed individuals. So we think about those who transmit this sense of refuge to us. In other words, they inspire us and they support us in our journey. They're not there for us to worship them. They're not there for us to put them on a pedestal and bow. That's not the purpose of the bowing. The purpose is making a connection. We want to make a connection and show that we're open to their guidance. We're open to hear what they have to say and see the journey that they're on and let them open the door. But we decide whether we're walking through it, and we decide how valid it is for us. So we invoke into our presence these lineage of teachers. Then we invoke into our presence the great enlightened beings, and there have been a few on this planet. We certainly are considering the goddess Tara, and I'll talk more about her. She's a great enlightened being, and therefore we are invoking her. We're asking her to come into our life, because refuge is when we turn to and invite these beings to be a part of our life, to stimulate us and encourage us and help us to awaken. And then these enlightened beings, well, of course, in the Christian tradition, we have Christ, and Islam, we have Muhammad. We have these radiant enlightened beings, and we can relate to them. We can imagine that they're in front of us, and we can have communication with them. They've also given teachings. We have these magnificent possibilities of teachings, not only oral, teacher to student, but also wonderful literature and movies, and just so inspiring. So we want to, this we call the Dharma. We want to invite into our presence the teachings about the path of awakening. And then finally, we want to acknowledge that we are in the presence of a community. Right now, this group that has gathered to engage in the practice of Tara, we are a community, and we are here to support each other. We are here to inspire each other. We are here to awaken each other. So the practice, we're now going to dance the practice of refuge. But before we do that, there's actually two dances we're going to do together. Because once we determine that we're invoking into our presence these sources of inspiration and support, then we need to make a commitment. Now, this commitment is to ourselves. Now, we're projecting these beings outside of ourselves. We're visualizing them, we're imagining them, we're connecting with them in whatever way we can. But now before them, we are going to say, okay, I'm going to commit myself to this journey. Until I am fully enlightened, I'm going to turn to these sources of refuge, because I will do this, knowing that it is the greatest gift that I can give the world. And at this point, and throughout all of our practice, it is absolutely essential that we continue to invoke the fact that we are interconnected with everything that exists, that everything we do, everything we think, everything we speak, every action affects every other being on this planet. Every other being, every other atom of creation is affected by our behavior. Therefore, I know that in order to truly be of benefit to this world, I have to become the best that I can be. And according to these teachings, this is to engage in the journey of awakened mind. I need to fulfill the promise of wisdom and compassion that is inherent in my humanity. And so we make that promise. Now, some of you have already made this promise. Some of you have already committed to this journey for the rest of your lives. But for all of us, at least for this time when we're together, we are imagining that whatever happens, as far as my words to you, your inspiration, the movement, the music, all of it is dedicated to the purpose of awakening enlightened mind so that we can benefit the world. And we will continue to remind ourselves we are here to bring benefit to all. So now I'm going to ask Parvati, she's going to demonstrate the movement. And Miri, I would like you to just spotlight her, take me off the spotlight. so we can actually see what she's doing. It's much better with these little tiny, yes, there we go. So the movements are very simple. First, she invokes the lineage of teachers. So the hands are in Namaste Mudra and she's looking above her head. She's looking at her hands. Then she brings her hands to her forehead, the enlightened ones. Then she brings her hands to her throat, their teachings. And then she brings her hands to her heart, the community of practitioners. So those are the movements for refuge. And then we go on to the bodhicitta, the vow of awakened mind, until the heart of enlightenment is reached. So now she's opening her hands fully above her head until the heart of enlightenment is reached. And so we imagine that the highest victory is in this gesture. I go for refuge. We bring our hands together over our head to the three jewels, which are the enlightened ones, their teachings, and the community. And then she places her right hand on her heart. This is her commitment. I, and her left hand sweeps her left foot forward, will attain enlightenment. And then she brings her feet back together for the sake of all beings. Excellent. Okay, Miri Dakini, Maestro, please, refuge in bodhicitta.
I invoke the presence of the lineage of teachers.
I invoke the presence of the lineage of teachers.
I invoke the presence of the enlightened ones.
I invoke the presence of the enlightened ones.
I invoke the presence of their teachings.
I invoke the presence of their teachings.
I invoke the presence of the community of practitioners.
I invoke the presence of the community of practitioners.
I am inspired by the lineage of teachers.
I'm inspired by the lineage of teachers.
I am inspired by the enlightened ones.
I am inspired by the enlightened ones.
I am inspired by their teachings.
I'm inspired by their teachings.
I am inspired by the community of practitioners.
I'm inspired by the community of practitioners.
My path is supported by the lineage of teachers.
My path is supported by the lineage of teachers.
My path is supported by the enlightened ones.
My path is supported by the enlightened ones.
My path is supported by their teachings.
My path is supported by their teachings.
My path is supported by the community of practitioners.
My path is supported by the community of practitioners.
Until the heart of enlightenment is reached,
Until the heart of enlightenment is reached.
I go for refuge to the three jewels.
I go for refuge to the
I will attain enlightenment.
I will,
For the sake of all beings.
say, well,
Until the heart of enlightenment is reached,
fill the heart of enlightenment.
I go for refuge to the three jewels.
I go for refuge to the
I will attain enlightenment.
I will,
For the sake of all beings. Until the heart of enlightenment is reached,
fill the heart of enlightenment.
I go for refuge to the three jewels.
I go for refuge to the
I will attain enlightenment. For the sake of all beings.
Thank you, Parvati. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miri, for the music. Okay. So now we're ready to invoke Tara. These practices, motivation, refuge, and bodhicitta, they are the foundation. Whenever there's any disturbance, any mental disturbance at all, this is where we go. We go to say, what am I doing? How can I make this experience of my life stimulate my wisdom and compassion? How can I be skillful here so that I engage with wisdom and compassion? And if I feel I need support, let me invoke my sources of refuge and remember that I have committed myself to this journey of awakened mind. So now our main source of refuge today, the main engagement, is the goddess Tara. Tara has a presence throughout many, many cultures, not just the Tibetan culture. And we find the same characteristics, a woman of wisdom with the radiance of compassion. Now, because we have taken this text and this sadhana out of the Tibetan tradition, we are going to engage in their method fully. Having set the foundation practice, feeling that our sources of refuge are before you, pouring their light into us, now we imagine the most beautiful feminine presence. So I'm going to ask Miri to share a picture of Tara while I talk about her, so that you can look at this beautiful image of green Tara. Now, Tara has a number of depictions. In this practice alone, we have 22 different kinds of Taras that we represent, each of them a unique color and each possessing unique characteristics and qualities that we're going to dance. But to begin with, the center of our mandala when we start is always green Tara. Green represents enlightened activity. And we take note that she's peaceful. Deities in the Tibetan tradition can be peaceful, semi-wrathful, and wrathful. But this particular image of Tara is peaceful. However, because she is green in color, and you'll notice that her right leg is extended out and her left leg is pulled in, she represents enlightened activity. So all of the wisdoms of awakened mind are present in this depiction of the great mother goddess. Tara was a woman in another world system, and there was a Buddha that encountered, this was before our world was even born. We believe it was the Pleiades, but we're not sure. Depends on the legends. There are many different legends about the origin of Tara. But at any rate, she was a woman in another world system, and this Buddha came to her world and started giving teachings, and she became very excited about these teachings, especially the understanding of the accumulation of merit, that the best way to accumulate merit was to make it possible for beings to receive the teachings about awakened mind. And so she engaged, she had many gatherings, and through this, she was also able herself to listen to the teachings and to engage in the teachings, until at one point, her teacher said to her, the Buddha said to her, "You're about to attain enlightened mind." Now, he was a little shocked because this was a body of a woman. And even in this other world system, apparently they had misogynist tendencies. But at any rate, this Buddha said to her, "You're about to enter the state of enlightened mind." So I suggest, because as a Buddha, you can take any form you like, that you take the form of a man when you enter the enlightened state. And my favorite legend says she thought about this. And I think she probably just left. But at any rate, she said to him, I will remain in the body of a woman until the end of time, and I will ferry all across the ocean of suffering and establish them in an understanding of their true nature. And with those words, she attained awakened mind. Now it is said, according to my favorite legend about the 21 praises, that at this point the universe praised her, and that they praised her with the 21 praises of Tara, the ones that are the basis of the dance that I'm sharing with you. And by doing this, by praising her in this way, it reverberated throughout the universe, so that anytime anyone who becomes enlightened, any Buddha, has access to the 21 praises. One of my teachers said, this is why we attribute the 21 praises to Shakyamuni or to this Buddha or that Buddha, but actually it arose because the universe praised her. So we look at this form of Tara. Now, in order to make the visualization powerful, because we want to be able to see her anywhere we look. So if I look out the window and I want to see her sitting underneath that tree, I can see her. It's not as if she was a solid body. This is why it's often described, she's like a rainbow. You can see through her, and yet there is substance and form. And so you imagine, now I'm giving you a picture of Tara to look at, but you also could look above this picture and see, exercise the power of your imagination to see her. She's there, she's looking at you. Now, one of the precious things about this in deity practice, this is called deity yoga, we are developing a relationship. This relationship is going to enable us to discover who we truly are, because whatever she has in her capacity and her qualities, her states, or the qualities of who she is, we have. If we haven't realized or revealed, we have it in latent form. And by engaging in this practice, we are stimulating. So that which is the essence of who she is arises within us to meet her. So we are not channeling her. We're not channeling anything from outside. It's arising from within our own wisdom mind. So this practice, all of it, has to do with this connection with the wisdom mind. And we are projecting this image of Tara outside of ourselves in order to focalize it, in order to strengthen it, in order to become strong in the foundation, and to be really without, it's not shaken. We're not shaken. We are totally present for her, and she's present for us. So now we imagine that she's smiling, and this picture has a nice little smile. She's smiling because she sees us. She sees everything about us. She sees our aspirations. She sees our accomplishments. She sees our confusion, and she sees our pain, and she loves us. She loves us so totally that we feel completely accepted in the presence of this mother's love. And this light, as we engage in this practice, she's radiating light. There's light pouring from her body, and it is completely pouring into us, encouraging us, blessing us, and awakening us. We see that her right hand, which is to your left, is extended out, in palm out, fingertips pointing down. That is the gesture of generosity. And then her thumb and forefinger are touching. That is the gesture of the perfection of generosity. And that at her heart, she's holding the stem of a lotus, which blooms by her left ear. And this is the ring finger touching the thumb. So first, it's the palm, which means protection in this particular case. And then the ring finger touching the thumb means I am a source of refuge. And so her body represents the infinite giving of the mother and the protection as a source of refuge. She is half dressed because she's free. Her long hair, she's free. The jewels in her crown represent the awakened mind of the five wisdoms are revealed within her. She's covered with jewels because she's willing to engage in the world, and all the aspect of the world blesses her. Her silks show she's willing to attract others to her in order to bring them benefit. Her legs, right legs extended outward because she's swift to go to all who call out to her. And the left leg is pulled in, the heel pressing against the perineum. She's mastered the power of desire. So this is the Tara that we are invoking in our glorious dance. So now for this moment, imagine her before you, and as her light pours into you, feel yourself letting go of your burden, simply letting go of your burden and revealing your own light body. And your own light body is resonating just like hers. You're in the exact same position as her. You're seated on a lotus, which is wisdom, and a moon seed, which is compassion, just like this beautiful being in front of you. Your left hand gestures, fear not, I am a true source of refuge. And your right hand gestures, I give all that is needed, for I am the mother. And you can feel yourself sparkling with gems and jewels and the silks around you. You're willing to attract others to you. Your right leg extended outward, you're swift to go to all who call out to you. And your left leg is pulled in. You've mastered the power of desire. Excellent. So now we are going to engage in the practice of the 21 qualities of Tara. When I first started engaging in retreat, so Miri, you can now just spotlight me and come off of that. Excellent, thank you. So when I first engaged in this practice of Tara, I was working with the 21 praises. As I mentioned, the universe praised her. But as one year in retreat, I realized that we needed something that I could transmit in an evening or an hour and a half at the Sakyadhita conference. Now, in fact, because the praises are a little complicated. So at that time, while I was in retreat, I started to, and there weren't very many books about Tara. It was very hard, in fact, this is, remember, 40 years ago almost, to get any information about her at all. So I had a few different translations of the praises and things. And I started putting together names because every lineage had a different name for Tara. And they all had different qualities. And so I was putting them together, and finally, I organized it as a set of qualities. So I distilled each praise into a quality. And then when I came out of retreat, I met with Bokha Rinpoche to show him what I had done and to get his, well, I didn't know whether it was going to be approval or to tell me to go back to the drawing board, but he gave me his approval. And so because of that, we have this dance of Tara's qualities. Now it starts with the opening of the text by Chögyam Lingpa. This is a little bit different than the short sadhanas that are presented in the monasteries. But the long one, when you do the praises for 2 times, 3 times, and 7 times, it opens with these words. So now I'm going to ask Miri if she would please spotlight herself just to show these movements, and then we'll all dance. We're going to put the whole thing together first, tell you what we're doing, and then we're going to dance. But I want you to be able, that's it, perfect. I want you to be able to see clearly. Okay, so she's reaching out. We start with homage to the rare and precious. So we reach out with our hands and step back. So she's looking at Tara and she is affirming that Tara has all the qualities that are necessary. Anyone that you have, you invest as a refuge merges with her. And then Mary brings her hands together. To the Venerable Mother Tara, we go for refuge. She brings her hands at her heart. And then giving rise to wisdom, she places her hands crossed over her heart, and compassion. Her hands radiate light. We enter. So now if you would show the mudra, this is the mudra for enter, okay? Yeah, we enter the profound path, okay? So please step back, Miri, and I'm going to talk us through that. Homage to the rare and precious. To the venerable Mother Tara, we go for refuge. Giving rise to wisdom and compassion, we enter the profound path. And then bow. Okay, so we do that 3 times, all right? So this is the invocation. In every sadhana, there is an invocation. We're inviting the deity. Now we have prepared ourselves because we know what the deity looks like. So she's right there in front of us, and we are offering her homage and agreeing that she's our source of refuge. Now we engage in the practice of purification and accumulation, meaning we're letting go of what holds us back and we're gathering what we need in order to engage in this practice. So the first thing we need to do is we need to let go of the idea that we're not good enough, okay? This is the arrogance of inadequacy. And so we want to let go of that. We want to recognize when we do hands in Namaste Mudra, we're saying the divine in me is the same as the divine in you. So this is our recognition that the divine in Tara is the same as the divine in us. But it also helps us to let go of the arrogance of inadequacy. This is the clinging to the idea that we're not good enough. That's one way of making our persona big and fat. Okay, the next purification, we offer to purify greed. So this is the tendency to think that we don't have enough and we grasp onto whatever we think we need. Instead, we make offerings. We make infinite offerings to all of the divine beings and to all of our community. We offer ourselves, and in that way it frees us from greed and creates the merit of generosity. We reveal all negativity. So now she crosses her hands and opens her heart. Okay, so we want to be able to show everything that we are, everything. It doesn't matter how dark, whatever confusion we've engaged in, whatever harm that we've caused. We're willing to open our heart to Tara to purify this and to free us from the tendency toward aggression, and then therefore free us from the tendency towards anger, hatred, and war. And on the words war, we put our hands out. Now this is another gesture using the same mudra, but it means no, we're not going there. Okay, so that's the third purification. Then the fourth purification, we rejoice to purify jealousy. This is the tendency to think that we can't do enough, we can't be enough. And so because of that, we're critical of others. And therefore, instead of being critical, we're going to rejoice in their achievements. Then the fifth purification, we request teachings to purify ignorance. So her left hand is the hub of a wheel. Okay, this is like, there we go, hub of a wheel. And her right hand, palm up, is turning the wheel of the truth. She's turning the wheel of the Dharma. Okay, so she's asking, when her hand goes out, she receives whatever information she needs. She brings it into her heart, she digests it, and then she sends it out into the world to share it. So we request teachings to purify ignorance, our ignorance and the ignorance of the world. Then the sixth purification, Tara, stay. Now, if we were in a circle, we would be holding hands, because this is the moment where we renew our commitment to each other and to Tara. She has committed herself. She has said she's going to remain until the end of time, until everyone is free. And so because she has said that, then we are going to commit ourselves to the journey. We are going to engage in whatever practices we need in order to awaken enlightened mind. Then we bring our hands to our heart for the seventh purification, which is to remember that whatever blessing, whatever power, whatever we receive through this practice, that we are going to send it out into the world and share the world. We will not cling onto this, so that we do not make of our spiritual practice yet another problem. So whatever power we achieve through this practice, we bless others and empower them. In that way, the hands fall against the head, and as if the veils of the mind are being removed, the veils of the mind are being removed, and we reveal our radiant light being as the goddess Tara. So as we're standing there in the dance, prepared to dance the qualities, we recognize that the goddess Tara is within us as well as before us, and we are going to dance as Tara. The next thing that happens is we hear the syllables Om Tare. Now we're engaging in Tara's mantra. So Om Tare, Miri's going to lift her hands up over her head. She's going to turn clockwise. Om Tare Tu Tare. She's going to bring her hands to her heart. Ture. And then Soha, if we were in the circle, we would hold hands. But because we're not in the circle, we're going to bow to each other in these little screens. Yes, like this. Okay, so now here's the transmission of the mantra for those of you who have not received it before. Please repeat after me. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. So this means, oh great mother, you remove obstacles and fears. You give all blessings. So be it. So it is. So every time you hear Om Tare, you're going to turn as Miri did. And you'll hold your hands up over your head. Hold your hands up over your head. And as you turn, you imagine the Tara's light is pouring into you. And then you bring your hands to your heart. You concentrate it at your heart. And then as you bow, you are saying, the Tara in me, the Tara in you. It's the same. It's the same. Then we're going to engage in the gestures of the 21 qualities. And so I'm going to do my best to make sure that you can see them, okay? So Parvati and Adrienne and Miri will dance. Just relax. There's no way. We only have a half an hour to complete this practice. And so I want us to just jump right into the dance. Now, for those of you who were with us yesterday, we danced the mantra. No, Miri, don't, I'll do the spotlighting. I'll do the spotlighting. Yeah, don't worry. I've got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but don't play the music yet. We just have to give them the mantra, the information of the 3 practices of the mantra. So please demonstrate. The first practice of the mantra, normally we would be walking, but instead we're facing this screen. Om Tare Tu Tare, our hands are open. Om Tare Tu Tare. Ture, our hands at our heart. And then we bless the earth. We're going to make a square, okay? Then we're going to do this 4 times, blessing the elements. Om Tare Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. We make a circle to bless the waters. Om Tare Tu Tare, Ture, a triangle, blesses the fire. Om Tare Tu Tare. And then a crescent or a half sphere blesses the wind, okay? The second aspect then is making offerings. Making offerings, 4 steps in. We hold our hands as an offering. 4 steps in, we offer all that's precious to the enlightened ones. We step back, receiving their blessings. We bless and empower each other. And we do 4 of those. And then the third gesture, in the gestures of Tara, so that means our left hand is at our heart, our right hand is extended outward, okay? We're going to reach forward to take the light. All of us connect the light with each other. Then we're going to send the light out into the world. We're going to remove the suffering like a gray cloud, consumed in the flames of our wisdom and compassion until it is completely gone. And we're going to do 4 of those. Okay, so I'm sorry to have to rush this, but when I look at the time, I want to make sure that we can complete the practice. Okay, so Miri, you go ahead and turn on the music and I will do the the spotlighting. You don't worry about it, okay? Okay, Minnie, we can't hear the music.
Gonna need to share sound.
Yes, she forgot to do the share sound. Here it comes, it's coming. There we go.
Homage to the rare and precious, to the venerable Mother Tara we go for refuge, giving rise to wisdom and compassion. We enter the profound homage to the rare and precious, to the venerable Mother Tara we go for refuge, giving rise to wisdom and compassion. We enter the profound homage to the rare and precious, to the venerable Mother Tara we go for refuge, giving rise to wisdom and compassion. We enter the profound we bow to purify agons. We offer to purify greed. We reveal all negativities to purify anger, hatred, and war. We rejoice to purify jealousy. We request teachings to purify ignorance. Tara, stay, purify our connection. Whatever power we gather through this practice, may it be for the empowerment of all. And as the last veils fall away, we reveal the mind's radiance as the goddess Tara. Om Tare! Om Tare,
Tara is wisdom, compassion, and power. Wisdom, compassion, power. Wisdom, compassion, power. Wisdom, compassion, power. Wisdom, compassion, power. Om Tare! Tara is swift protection. wisdom, creative, wisdom. Chara is impeccable virtue, impeccable virtue, impeccable virtue, impeccable virtue, impeccable virtue. Chara is all victorious, all victorious, all victorious, all victorious, all victorious. Chara is sublime intelligence, sublime intelligence, sublime intelligence, sublime intelligence, sublime intelligence. Chara is worthy of honor, worthy of honor, worthy of honor, worthy of honor, worthy of honor. Chara is invincible courage, invincible courage, invincible courage, invincible courage, invincible courage. Chara destroys negativity, destroys negative thought, destroys negative thought, destroys harmful emotion, destroys harmful emotion. Chara is true refuge, true refuge. distributor of wealth, distributor of wealth, distributor of wealth. Tara is auspicious beauty, auspicious beauty, auspicious beauty, auspicious beauty, auspicious beauty. Tara is irresistible truth, irresistible truth, irresistible truth, irresistible truth, irresistible truth. Tara is ferocious compassion. Ferocious compassion. Ferocious compassion. Ferocious compassion. Ferocious compassion. Tara is serene peace, serene peace, serene peace, serene peace, serene peace. Tara is the destroyer of attachment. 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 Tara is bliss and joy. 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 Tara is the transformer of poison. 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 Tara is the remover of sorrow. Remover of sorrow. Remover of praise you, Tara.
praise you, sublime and exalted Tara. I praise you, sublime and exalted Tara.
By this sincere practice, we remove obstacles and satisfy all needs. Receive the light. Concentrate it. Heal and balance the earth. Offering all that's precious, we receive the blessings, we empower each other. We send the light of wisdom and compassion into the world. We remove all pain, all suffering, wars, illness, poverty. The darkness is consumed in the light of our wisdom and compassion. Like a twig in a raging fire, it is gone. Whatever power we have created through this sincere practice, may it be for the benefit of all. May all beings be happy.
May all beings be happy.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free.
Swaha, swaha. Wonderful. So I hope you were all able to join us in this dance. I couldn't see you, so we had to just carry on. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to replace spotlight. Let's see if that works. We're getting there. Oh my goodness. What an adventure to share this online. I hope that you all had a chance to dance. I hope that you had a chance to feel this in your body. The time goes by so quickly and there's so much to share. So I pray that we will have other opportunities to dance. We have a number of Zoom practice sessions that we've been doing over the past year and a half. So you are welcome to join. Please go to the website taradatu.org and you can find the schedule of our Zoom classes and come and join. If you want to become a personal student, to work with one of our senior teachers, just send us an email and we'll help you get that set up so that we can continue to dance together all over the world. And as the prophecy of Guru Rinpoche, as Taras bring healing light to our world. So we just have a few moments, and I wanted to end with a beautiful song. Since we've only got a few moments, so we'll do Omahung. Miri, how long is the Omahung dance? How many minutes? You have to turn your microphone on, sweetie.
4
Yeah.
minutes and 25, 22.
Okay, so if we do this without any discussion at all, we can do it. We can just squeak in there. So 2 movements. Will you imagine white light pours from Tara into our forehead, red light pours into our throat, blue light pours into our heart, and this way the 3 lights integrate all the bodies of awakening. We carry our offering, transform it into wisdom nectar, and pour the blessing on the world, giving everyone exactly what they need. So this dance will be our dedication dance. So Miri, go ahead and play.
Body, speech,
And let's spotlight everybody.
arising. Body,
Go ahead, play.
body, speech, and mind empowered. Throughout this radiant and abundant universe, we gather our offerings, transform them into wisdom nectar, and pour the blessing upon our world, giving everyone exactly what they need.
White light, body is made of light. Red light, each power of the mantra. Blue light, mind infinite, open. 3 lights, reintegrated. All precious things we offer. Filling the sky with wisdom nectar for the blessing on the world. Everyone exactly what they need. White light, body made of light. Bright light, now come on here. True light, infinite over. True light. All this precious beyond. Filling the sky with wisdom nectar for the blessing of the world. Now facing each other, fill the sky, and now pour the blessing on each other. Right hand to right hand, we bow to each other. All that's precious, filling the sky. We pour the blessing on each other. Right hand to right hand. Bowing. All that's precious, we offer. Transforming our offering into nectar. We pour the blessing on each other, giving to everybody exactly what they need. And now we go back.
May all beings be happy. May all beings be free.
Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm so grateful. Jackson, thank you so much for helping us out there. It's wonderful. Sakyajita gave us this beautiful platform. Whatever power, whatever inspiration, whatever joy we've achieved through this practice, may it be for the benefit of all. May it bring peace to our world and everyone have exactly what they need. Swaha, swaha, swaha.